Hello, SMD family. How are you guys out there today? I know it's a surprise, last minute, but you know how I am when I feel it. And this is one of those that I'm really feeling it today, right? Lately, when I've been on TikTok, right, I've been listening to some of these AI producers making music, excuse me, making music, and then they're even making music telling a joke, right? But the music is really, really good. They put a really nice beat to it. Uh, the words and the singers and the music. I mean, everything is perfect, right? And they're doing this with AI. These are people with, you know, they probably got some skills in, telling jokes or whatever, right? But they don't have to have any musical skills. They can they can now make music and don't worry about copyright strikes, and it sounds really, really good, right? And I've been listening to a lot of this on TikTok. It's just like it's amazing to listen to, right? And I thought to myself, people in the music industry is toast as to the way it has been for the last who knows how many years. Those days are done. Because people now that can write music or whatever, right? They can create their own music and things and background singers. They can do it all themselves with AI. Even singers and songwriters, those guys are in trouble too. You think about how many people this affects. Singers, songwriters, people that play musical instruments. You cannot compete. A person that plays a musical instrument cannot compete with AI playing that same musical instrument. You just can't. And even if it's some, you just can't. You just won't be able to. So it changes the whole dynamic of the whole industry. I think about all these guys that used to sell beats for thousands and thousands of dollars. Now they're worth nothing because people can make their own better ones using AI and put together exactly what they want. What's up, Kingpin and James Max? It's a little bit of that too. It is. Kingpin. It's a little bit of that. It's really all of that. And like here, let me give you an example. Let me give you an example of it, just kind of a little bit off topic with this right here. Many people, and this is the only channel you're going to hear this from, okay? Because you guys can't see what Kanye did. Kanye knew the majority of the big stars you see are owned by a company. They're owned. Kanye obviously knew that too, but I'm sure the music industry puts them under gag orders. They can't say anything. Whatever. I get it, it's business, you know. But people see all that money, but they don't know what's tied to all that money. Your soul, that's what's tied to that money. So what he did was ride the fence. And people thought he was crazy. Oh my God, how could he say that? He freed himself. That's what the majority don't see. He freed himself. Because people don't know what they have to do for that money. All those millions and millions and millions of dollars. You don't know. The majority of you guys with regular jobs, you guys will never know. If you're a singer, Even rappers. I hope rappers are paying attention. As soon as AI gets rapping down, that's it. That's it. Somebody can create, somebody with no musical nothing at all can create their own superstar now with perfect raps, perfect singers, perfect. This is what I say. If you're an actor, because actors are toast too, these people, singers and rappers and actors, you guys all have a skill. Now I'm gonna share something with you. You can either listen to me or you can just ignore what I'm talking about or whatever. Right now is the time to transfer your skills into AI. Make your own character in there or do something and put raps in there or something. Figure it out. Because the way of doing things, like starting now and before, those days are done. This is just the beginning of AI. We are at the beginning. When when 2020 came and the world stopped, and I want you guys to listen to me closely, okay? Listen to me closely. If you're listening to this video right now, none of us will ever see that happen again. See the whole world stop. We'll never see that happen again, ever. So I want you to let that soak into your body. You'll never see that again. None of us will see that again, ever. In order to end an old economy and start a new one, it's like a car engine. You can't rebuild an engine of a car while it's running. You can't do that. You got to stop the engine, stop, unplug everything, take all the old stuff out, and then put the new stuff in. Simply because of human evolution, that has to happen. When the economy started 100, 250 years ago, it was probably working really well back then, but things change, human evolution. So you got to stop, take the old stuff out, put the new stuff in, and then restart it. Again, you don't have to listen to anything I'm saying. I'm just sharing something with you. I strongly suggest you start transferring your skills because that is a skill to be a rapper, singer, some kind of talented person. That is a skill. Just figure out how to transfer those skills into this AI stuff. Because you think about all the beat makers that was making all that money, those days are done. Singers, actors, that kind of money that the actors and singers you guys seeing right now that's making it, those days are coming to an end. A singer can't compare to an AI, and this is just today. This is now. Think of the first iPhone. The first iPhone came out in my days. We thought that was the most amazing thing ever to see, the first iPhone. Now you guys look at that and like, oh my God, look at that dinosaur, this and that. This is where we are with AI right now. We're in the very beginning. This is why you still kind of can tell when you watch an AI video, and they'll mess up on some words or the sound sounds funny. You kind of can tell, or it'll go through things accidentally or turn a person's body the wrong way, because that's just the beginning. Just like the first iPhone. To me, it's amazing to see, just to see it happening. This is I don't know if you guys can really grasp the gravity of how big this is. When I say the music industry is toast, they are toast. They have to know it. They already must know it. They have the money to get in there and probably create an AI rapper. Whatever they put it this way, they're going to do whatever they need to do to stay relevant because they have the money to get the right people to do what they need to do to stay relevant. Because when I listen to AI music, some of this stuff I'm hearing people making jokes with, that music is really good. When they're remixing original songs into a different version and it sounds better than the original version. Or maybe it just sounds like that because it's new and different. It probably just that, but it's pretty amazing. I hope you're paying attention if this is you or if you're in that category of something. Even the people in the porn industry, those days are done. What's that? OnlyFans? OnlyFans has to know what's coming. They have to know. The people like think about this. I want you guys to think about the website OnlyFans. Once the AI gets down human bodies to move and look and da 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 what it needs to do, a human body will not be able to compare to what AI can generate for people. Do you understand? I want you guys to think about it this way. AI will be able to ask the people watching, "Hey, what do you want to see? What what shape? What this? What that?" And then it just tell it, and it'll be exactly what they want. Each and every person will be able to see. Do you understand that? You can't. A human person cannot compare to that. This is just the gift of sight, isn't it? It's beautiful. You could just see it, and if this is you, if you're a person like this, and you can, don't be the person like, oh my God, AI is taking over everything and this and that. Don't start. If you're talking like that, first of all, you need to stop talking like that. And if you're around people talking like that, you need to get the fuck away from those people. You understand? Because what they're telling you is saying, hey, don't roll with human evolution. Don't do that. Stay right here. The old way was that leave them and let them stay there. Music producing is still good, but it's you going. I mean, it's a everybody can listen. The music industry, people think about it this way. Now musical artists, because it still takes a talent to put music together. I mean, it's just a different way of doing it, right? But talented music people can take AI and make it do exactly the sound that they're hearing in their head. Like musical people, this is what I fully understand. A person that's into music, they listen to music different than me. I understand that now. Okay. Yeah, we're both listening to the same song, but we're not listening to it in the same way. I understand that. So that you need to take them skills and put those skills into AI to do something for you, to make it enhance it or whatever, and then start licensing it or do whatever it takes because you're in the very beginning. It's like the Wild West right now. This is like when you think of all the AI chat bots that you guys can talk into, on your phone and Grok and all this other stuff. It reminds me of my days when people were fighting to be the main web browser. Now, most of you think, oh, I've grown up. Google was always here. No, Google wasn't here the first when it began. They had to fight for that position, and they are the ones that won. Do you understand? There were many browsers that were out there that did not succeed. That's what they're doing right now with all the chat bots. Who is going to be the main one because they know the other ones, they know they're going to disappear if they don't hurry up. You're probably thinking, well, what's the big deal about that? Have you noticed, like these chat bots, they try to talk like a person, uh, answer you. They're breathing in the background. What are they doing all that for? They don't need to breathe. Why are they making breathing sounds? For you. So you can get comfortable with them and driving in your car, talking to Grok like it's really your friend. And all they're doing is collecting all that data. And whoever ends up being the main chat bot is the winner. People think people laugh at and think it's funny. People are falling in love with chatbots because the chatbot understands it, understands them. And you think, ha ha, that's funny. No, it's not. That's a psychological problem. That's what that is. That's when that person needs to seek professional help if they know they need to seek professional help. Of course, a robot is going to understand you better than a human. But don't be scared about it. It's just what it's happening. That's it. Just okay. All right. Let me figure that out. Okay. All right. AI is going to be doing this. It's going to get rid of all these repetitive jobs in the background. You don't have to get mad at AI. It's a tool. Never forget that. Are you when you go home and you see your hammer in your drawer? Are you scared of your hammer when it's sitting there in the drawer? What about if there's a pair of pliers in that same drawer? Are you scared of those pliers? AI is the same thing. Okay, I want you guys to listen closely. Humans invented AI. Okay, AI did not invent us. If there's no humans, there's no AI. Do you understand? That means it can't know more than humans because we are the ones that made it. It can't know more than us. It just does human things faster and better. That's it. No different than before the internet. Okay? When the internet came along, the same thing happened. Now it's just taking the and when you listen to me and you hear me like right now, okay, let's go with a current event so you can see what's about to happen right now so you can like say, okay, he's it's true what he's saying. Okay, one second, let me just some water real quick. Elon Musk is getting his driverless software perfected. Soon it will be ready to go. Okay, that's going to happen. Okay, the when really doesn't matter. Just understand that it is. Let's just do like that. It is. When that happens, all of the people taking driving around people and delivering food, especially the people delivering food, those jobs are done. Do you understand? They're going to be done, especially with the delivery of food. Do you understand? Because the restaurants are going to, their loss of food is going to go down dramatically. And the people buying the food will know not another human will touch that food except them. From the restaurant, the humans from the restaurant into the car straight to the person, straight into the buyer's hands. No middle person anymore. Every car, especially when the robo taxis get approved, because they will be, every person is going to demand a Tesla. Probably the 90 percentile of people, not every, never, it's never 100, but it's going to be in the 90 percentile of people going to be using Tesla because it's already, they're playing chess already. Every Tesla you see on the road, especially the finance ones, they're also going to be part of Tesla's fleet of whatever he's going to create. Hey, while I'm at work, I might as well make some extra money and use my car. Yeah, you might as well, because that's where most finance cars are at. They're either at home or in the parking lot of their employer. So why not? If you believe you're gonna make some extra money and all the wear and tear goes on your car, your tires and the bouncing and whatever's going on in your car, and hey, listen, good for you. They already talk about how fast Teslas go through tires. Can you imagine when they add their cars to this Tesla fleet? They're going to be going through so many tires, thinking they're making money. Are you crazy? Congratulations to Tesla. Man. All the drivers, that do this and never pay their taxes and stuff and never pay their taxes and stuff like that. Guess what? That problem becomes solved, because guess what? Tesla is going to be paying not only are going to be paying their taxes, they're going to be paying the taxes in every city those cars are there. If the if they listen, if they allow Teslas to be driverless cars in their city or whatever, right now they're probably missing, who knows how much revenue they're missing by people doing deliveries and not paying their taxes. Once they approve Tesla's driverless cars in their city or jurisdiction or whatever, right? That is guaranteed tax revenue. Do you understand? They will not be losing any tax revenue as long as a Tesla is being used in their city. Do you understand? So if you are a person that does this for a living, just listen to me. It's just changing. All you have to do is think about it. I'm not saying instantly stop your job right now. It takes a minute. I'm telling you, it's coming. Think about what you're going to do. Am I gonna buy a bunch of Teslas? Is there really profit to be made if I whatever? Figure it out. But there's going to be a lot of competition. Do you understand? Tesla's going to have their choice of who they even allow to be part of their program. There's probably going to be a waiting list. Do you understand? I don't even know how much money you could possibly make on a business, because their cars are going to have to be limited. They're going to have, hey, you can only allow X amount of cars in the city to do this. It's going to be a limit. So there's going to be a waiting list. While you're driving around, dropping food off, delivering people, just keep this in your mind. Figure out your plan, because it's going to happen. Nothing's stopping it. There's too many benefits for the city, for the state. Everybody gets paid. Do you understand? Automatically, everybody gets paid. Everything's automatic. No more loss, no more tax revenue loss. Do you understand? And I want the people that are listening to me, if you're one of those people that just haven't been doing it for years, all you got to do is just listen. Okay? Just listen. When that happens, when Tesla's driverless cars get approved, you're going to have no choice but to get a regular job. Do you understand? At that job, you have to put your social security number in that application. Because if you've been working for all these businesses, dropping food off and doing whatever you're doing and not paying your taxes, The people, the businesses that you were doing it for, they report to the IRS. They do. They tell who they pay and whatever. That's the law. You have to do that. They know how much they've been paid you all these years. They already know. Do you understand? So when you go have to go get a regular job, which you will have to, and add your social security number, it's going to let them know where you're at. And then you're gonna have to answer some questions that they already know the answers to. So if this is you, I strongly suggest going to see hire a professional lawyer and tax stuff or whatever, right? A professional, and say, hey, this is my situation, man. I've been doing delivery jobs for years. I've been filing my taxes. What are my options? What can I do? And da, 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 da. Because the people you see and know doing the exact same thing, maybe they're not paying attention. Maybe they don't believe driverless cars will ever become real and whatever. Who knows? You don't have to be that person. You don't have to be that person. What'd you say there? Even if they don't send you a 1099, they still report it to the IRS. Yeah, it still gets reported. It's part of their tax reporting process. They have to they have to tell the IRS who they paid, or else they're going to be paying those taxes. The business is not into paying other people's taxes. That'd be wrong. You can go see it. And like I said, if this is you, just get the fear out. It's probably scary, you know. Oh my God, get all that done. Go get a professional. Don't try to do it yourself. Go to your situation. Say, hey, this is my situation, and let the skilled legal person handle it. You might think they didn't report it because you didn't get the form. Don't be fooled. They snitched on you, and you can check. It's not even listen. And see, it's like this, Nick. Check it out. Everybody's an adult. Okay, everybody's an adult. Nobody needs to send me a form to tell me I made some money. Okay, I know I made some money. I did, right? And when people, and don't get me wrong, I've heard of people doing that. Oh, they didn't send me the thing, so I guess I didn't. That's nothing. People don't, when I hear people talk like that, you know what that means? That means they don't really understand how it works. This tax system been in place before anybody here listening was born. You understand? And here are the young people being born thinking they're going to come out somehow trick the system or something. System, they don't even know how it even works. You can't trick a system. Like if you're 18, 20, 30, and you think right now, say like you're the person trying to do some tax fraud and trying to do some shell companies, some stuff you've seen on the movies or something like that. I'm gonna just share something with you, okay? And I'm gonna keep it really just simple. Okay, that's called cheating. Okay, let's just keep it basic. That's cheating. So if you're doing that, that means it's cheating. Cheating means you're cheating because you don't know how to play. That's what cheating says to people that do know how to play. Because people that do know how to play would look at you and say, why are you cheating when you don't have to cheat? If you're cheating, why are you cheating? That means you don't know how to play. That's why you're cheating. If you're around people like, oh, taxes are this and that, and you got to turn to them and say, why are you adding your feelings into a word? The word taxes. Why are you adding your feelings in there? That's what you got to ask yourself. If you understood how to play, you wouldn't fear it. It's a word. When people say, even if you pay off your house, you still don't own it because of taxes. You turn to them and say, then why are millions of people financing houses if they know that? Guess what's going to happen? They're not going to be able to give you the answer because they don't know the answer. You can ask anybody, don't believe me? Ask anybody with a mortgage. Say, hey, do you know? And this is what I want you to say because they all know. They all know. Listen, they all know. Go up to a person with a mortgage and say, hey, you do know you still won't own your house even if you pay it off because of taxes. They're going to tell you yes. Then ask them, then why are you financing it? Why are you financing something that you're never going to own? They're not going to be able to give you an answer because they don't know the answer. They won't even understand what you're saying. Do you understand? That's a different language. They don't know what that means. Yeah, that's right. Even if I pay it off, I still won't own it because of taxes. Yeah, what are you going to do about it? Nothing, because they don't know nothing. They're going to continue to do it because that's what they're supposed to do. Most don't know that's how capitalism works. Do you understand? Capitalism was started on with slavery, right? That's the foundation. Everybody knows that. Read your history. It's slavery, okay? You think that just stops? You can't remove the foundation of an economy that was started on. You can't do that. The only thing that could change the foundation of economy are wars. Do you guys understand that? But if that doesn't happen, you can't do that. So slavery turned from physical to invisible. That's why they don't know the answer because they don't know because they okay, listen to this closely. The American dream. If you believe you bought a house with a mortgage, you are living the American dream. Do you understand? Open up your calculator, put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance equals you can't buy a house with a mortgage. You are actually living the American dream. You're dreaming. You can't buy a house with a mortgage. Now, most of you hear me just say that. Did you hear me just say the way I said it? The way I just delivered it? They can't hear me. I'm speaking from a different perspective. That's why they can't hear me. They don't know anything. They don't even know they live in a perspective. The debt matrix is a perspective of capitalism. Capitalism is damn near illusion because there are millions of perspectives of capitalism. Millions. The debt matrix happens to be a perspective that millions of people, listen, out of all the millions of perspectives of capitalism, the debt matrix happens to be one perspective of millions that millions of people happen to share. Do you understand? Did you catch that? They don't know that is it, they don't not only do they not know it's a perspective, They don't know it's one single perspective. So that's why when you hear me say, go up to a person with the mortgage and say, hey, you know, you will never own your house if you pay it off because of taxes, they're going to tell you yes. But after that, they're not going to be able to tell you anything else because they don't know any other perspective. That's why they don't have an answer for you. This is why the musical industry piece of the title of this video is so fascinating to me because I don't know if people can see that. That's done. Go on YouTube, type in Michael Jackson, type in your favorite star. You're probably going to find a remix of your favorite song that sounds better than the original. Now, even though they mix that with AI, that's clearly illegal. You can't do that, though. You can't do any of that. I'm just giving an example of what it is, but that's still illegal because that's copyrighted stuff. But they don't even need. There are people out there that they're not doing that. They're not mixing any copyrighted stuff. They're doing straight their own, which they can. And listen, with the perfect voice that they want. Do you understand? A human cannot compete, and that's just now. Beat makers, they're clearly done. Beat makers, music people that put stuff together. And I'm not even talking negative about these people that are talented to play musical instruments, probably learn to take all their life to do it and making money from it. And now it's just done. Now it's going to be like, say, like a person's playing music in public. I just think about it this way in the future. They'll see somebody actually playing a musical instrument, and then people will be like, "Oh, that's what it looks like to play that sound that we add into the track that we did." Da, 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 da. Because they're going to hear the sound, but they're not going to. They're the people that are like the future people that's putting this stuff to AI. They're not going to. They're not picturing how it looks for a human to play that sound. They're just listening for the sound that they want, right? But they're not saying, "Hey, what does a human look like?" That's but now, but when they go out in public, when they go out and see a person in public playing an instrument, they be like, then they'll be like, "Oh, that's what it looks like. That's the one sound." It's going to be weird. And again, if you're a talented person, figure it out, man. Put yourself into some. I don't know. It's got to be part of that AI stuff. It has to be. Be happy that you are. Don't be frustrated. Just be happy you are at the beginning of it all. That alone is very valuable. Just accept what's coming. Don't fight it. Don't pretend like you don't see it. Because when I started in computers, that was the very beginning. And I didn't know anything about computers, but I knew that was the future. I was like, computers is not going, they're not going anywhere. I better understand it and I better know it. And that's exactly what I did. Because that like if I was late 20s, early 30s right now, I'll be figuring out this AI stuff. There are, even though AI is big, there are warehouses of stuff somewhere, right? You better believe there are people working in those places. Okay. They probably got some a little bit of AI stuff in there, but you that kind of stuff, you gotta have some people there, some actual people, right? That understand how it works, That's why I got into networking when things were beginning. I started with computers, got into networking and all this other stuff. And and then I started getting into uh, virtual computing. Followed followed evolution. If you're any one of the people that I've been talking about today, don't I'm telling you, don't be one of the people talking about AI is taking our jobs and this and that. Do not be one of those people. Do not be one of those people. Get on the wave. Don't be scared of the wave. It's small right now. But by the time it gets bigger, you already know how to ride it. So it won't matter the size it gets. The very first thing you need to understand in capitalism, you must own yourself first. Money is an illusion for those who are asleep, those who do not know. If you are a talented person that knows how to do things that people go to school to learn and it takes them years to learn and you just born to know it, understand that's a gift, okay? That's not a trick, that's a gift. If you want to enhance that gift, stay out of debt. If you are in debt, it's holding your gift back. Okay, it's holding your gift back. Debt is like a big cloud of negative energy that you believe is normal, that's just part of life. And debt is just, no, it's not. Anybody that tells you that, guess who they are? They're in that perspective that I keep telling you about. They're in that perspective. Exactly, Ken. Or, oh, Kingpin. I'm going to just keep saying Kingpin. That cloud of negative energy is heavy too. You know how I know? Because I got it off me. That's how I know. I didn't know it was heavy until I removed it. Do you understand? I thought it was normal. Okay, cool. I thought it was normal to carry around that heavy ass cloud on my back until I removed it. And you know what happened after that? I became a junkie to see what else I can remove because I knew what was heavy and what was not. Once I freed myself, which you can do, then you'll see another perspective of capitalism, and then you'll understand. You'll understand that it was based on slavery, so it cannot stop. All you got to do is just read history. It cannot stop. It was started there. You can't just say, "Oh, we're gonna change." No, it just changed from physical to invisible. That's it. Nobody's fault. When I was asleep, when I was a debt slave, I was asleep. You know why? They taught me in public school. They taught me the number line in public school. So if I didn't apply the number line to my finances, that's my fault. Do you understand? That's my fault. It wasn't the system. Nobody tricked me. Nobody did something to me. It wasn't the color of my skin. None of that. Me. I didn't apply the number line to my finances. Me. Once you come over, out of once you leave that perspective and come to this one, you'll realize they don't own. I didn't own anything. All the money and retirement money was all a mathematical illusion. None of it existed. I didn't even own myself. Do you understand? And it was all my fault. Do you understand? It was my fault that I believe that I could buy a house with a mortgage. I could finance a car, buy a car by financing. That was my fault. Nobody's fault but mine. Do you understand? It was my fault believing it took 72 months to buy a car when I know for a fact it only takes an hour at the most. That's my fault. Nobody tricked me. I was just in a perspective that I didn't know I was born in. Do you understand? I didn't know I was born into the debt matrix perspective. I did not know that because I'm 56 now. Nobody in my entire life told me that I was born in the debt matrix perspective. You know why? Because they didn't even know. You can't tell something you don't know that exists. If you don't know that's a perspective, that means you don't know. And if you are a talented person, you will come here and you will flourish. Why? Because you will own yourself from the very beginning. Like when you have a job and you look at your check and you be like, oh my God, look at all the taxes they're taking out of my check. You know why they're taking all those taxes out of your check? Because you're using yourself to participate in capitalism. That's why they're doing it. So since you're using yourself, you are taxed. If you get out of that perspective and create your own business, your business is taxed, not you. You think I knew that when I was getting my checks when I had a job? I didn't know that. I was just upset. Look at all those taxes. It was my fault because I was using myself to participate in capitalism. My social security number is the EIN number for the business of myself in capitalism. You guys, let me say it again. My social security number is the EIN number for the business of myself inside of the world of capitalism. My credit report showed I did not own myself because everybody listed on my credit report owned me. Do you understand? It wasn't until I paid back all the people I owed money to, then and only then is when I owned myself. That's then. That's it. That's the only time. When I got there, I had never been there in my life. I had nobody to ask any questions. I didn't know anything because nobody else was here that I knew. And fast forward to now, 10 years later, I understand what it is. Capitalism is an illusion because there are millions of perspectives of it. Everybody has their own perspective of capitalism. Every single person has their own perspective of capitalism. It has millions of perspectives. The debt matrix is one of those perspectives that millions of people that are part of that they do not know they're part of due to their own fault. To the not everybody, the majority. Go up to somebody. Listen, go up to somebody and say, "Hey, do you know what the number line is? The zero in the middle, positive numbers on one side, negative numbers on the other." 9 times out of 10, everybody's going to tell you yes. Whose fault is that if I didn't use that on my finances? That's my fault. Because back in my day, in my grade school days, they were they were actually teaching us how to use money, subtracting money, adding money. They taught me this in elementary school. I remember that. I'd never forget it. But I became a grown up and then I stopped using it. That's my fault. Now I have left that perspective and understand that there are millions, they're really unlimited, but I'm gonna just say for here in the US, millions of perspectives. I'm speaking to you from just one, another one. So when you hear me say, "Hey, go ask a person with a mortgage, hey, do you know you really won't own your house even if you paid it off because of taxes?" They're going to tell you yes. You're going to say, "Hey, well, what are you going to do about that?" They're not going to be able to say anything because they don't know. That's another perspective that they don't know. Yeah, why am I taking 30 years to buy something that I'm never going to own? Yeah, why are you? Why would you do that? They're not going to have an answer because they don't know. Why? Because they're in a perspective and they don't even know that they're in a perspective. One single perspective out of an unlimited amount of perspectives because capitalism's all over the world. That's why economies cannot exist without people. Do you understand when you get out of that perspective? You understand capitalism does not. Who cares how many robots are built, how many cars are built, how many guns or whatever? Humans need to be here to operate all that stuff. You guys understand that? Humans. If humans are not here, all that stuff just sits there on the ground or stays hidden wherever it's going to hide for the rest of its life because there are no humans. But never forget, economies cannot exist without humans. So no matter what you see, the technology, it does this and that. It's just a tool for humans. That's it. They're not special. Nothing special. Nothing special. Nothing works without people. Just never forget that. That way you don't be intimidated by AI like it's so super smart and doing all this. Stop thinking like that, okay? It's just a tool, it's a hammer, it's a lawnmower. No different than an old phone. It's like that, okay? Just think of it as a like you see like a damn wild Mustang in the pasture and it's time for you to get on it. That's what you need to do, tame it. You right about that. What's up, QJC? Banks are number one, baby. What's up, nicer world? What'd you say there? It's the worst that if you don't pay, you become a slave. The money is the catch in the way. Yeah, you know what? This is the gift of sight, right? When I look at let's say like the football, right? Football is a perspective. Okay, that's a perspective. A perspective that millions of people are part of. Okay. And I'm gonna just say facts, right? Now, people that play football, they know they could possibly not be here on earth anymore. That's a possibility. Okay? That's a possibility. Every football player knows that. You understand? Now, if you went to get a job and the job told you that this is a possibility that could happen, and not a bad chance of it happening because things happen over repeated after every play. So it's a high possibility, right? How much money could they give you to make you overlook that? In my perspective, there is no amount of money they could give me. I'd be like, no, thank you. I'm cool with that. That could possibly happen to me that I could not be here anymore or just not be able to control my body. No, no, thank you. Hey, how about this? No, I don't care how much money you're offering me. No, thank you. Why would I say that? Because today I understand that my body is my spacesuit. You understand? Perfectly, perfectly made for Earth. Do you understand? Perfectly made for Earth. Perfectly. I cannot do anything here on Earth without it. I can't. I have no idea why it took me 50 years to understand what I'm telling you guys right now, but I'm just sharing with you. You can believe it or not. But my body is perfectly adapted to this earth. I can walk. I can go walks. I can drive a car. I can talk to. I'm communicating with you guys. I can go up and down stairs. I can breathe. I can do. I can feel the sun. Without, I can't do anything. In my perspective, there is no amount of money in the world that would make me risk that. Because if I was in that situation with my spacesuit, the money means nothing. No matter if they said, "Hey, you'll never be able to walk again or move your body from the neck down or whatever," right? Ever. So that means there is no amount of money that could fix my spacesuit. No, thank you. I'm cool with that. When I look at stuff like that, I can only imagine the contracts that they sign, the stuff that they have to shut the fuck up about. They can't say shit. They better not say anything, even in retirement. Who knows what's in those contracts? There is no amount of money. But see, that's a perspective. Not everybody looks at their bodies like that, but it's really obvious. I'm just explaining the obvious. There is no amount of money. Sometimes I think about my youngest son. He was in football starting at a young age. And now that I can see, here, let me give you another obvious perspective that I can see today that I would have never, ever, ever put him in football. At that age, their brains are still developing. You don't have to be a doctor to know that. Excuse me. I didn't need to be a doctor to know that my young son's brain is still developing at that age. I can just look at the size of his head. And I put him in football. I'm saying it this way because I didn't see it from that perspective when I was young. That would that would have never happened. I would have been like, I don't care how much pro football players make. That's what I would have said. I don't care. Oh, dad, if they got mad, dad, I don't care if you're mad at me, be mad at me later, whether you understand it or not. But that's a perspective. Do you understand? Even with that, I'm not here to, oh man, don't put your kids in. I'm just sharing you. I'm just sharing my life with you. I'm sharing something with you. You can believe the obvious or not. It's totally up to you. But I guarantee you this, you will never, ever, ever see any owner of an NFL's family member playing football. I can guarantee you that. Guaranteed. Guarantee you that. Not only just because of the spacesuit, why would you risk your spacesuit for less money than what you're making now? If an individual get a 30-year mortgage for 250 with the 6% interest in 30 years, the house will cost that individual around 550,000 to 600,000. The bank's the bank is number one. In this perspective, the banks are number one because nothing works without them. Do you understand? You guys, debt slaves, couldn't buy you guys couldn't buy anything without the banks. You have to ask the bank to buy a house. You have to ask the bank to buy a car. You have to ask the bank to buy your shoes when you pull out your credit card, when you use your credit card to buy gas. Each time you use that, you're asking the bank's permission. Do you understand that? Because you cannot do anything without asking them first. I am sharing a perspective to you. You don't have to, but now the most of you guys are hearing this, it's really hard to absorb because you guys don't know of any other perspective. You don't know. But perspective means so you guys can so we can be on the same, even the word perspective. I want you guys to everybody be on the same page of what that means. Because when I use the word perspective, I'm assuming that everybody knows what that means. And I've learned that don't do stuff like that. So perspective means looking at one thing, looking at both of us looking at the same thing, but looking at it in two different ways. But it's still the exact same thing we're looking at. You believe you own a house, you own a car, and you're buying food and gas or whatever on your own. But what you don't, but from my perspective, you are asking the bank's permission each and every time you need to buy a house or a car or get some gas in your car or even go to the grocery store. Every time you pull out the credit card, you're asking the bank's permission. In your perspective, the one you're in now, you believe that's just the way it works, asking permission, even though you're an adult. When you have a when you have a finance phone and you had to ask the bank's first of all, you had to ask the bank's permission to buy that phone. You had to ask the bank's permission because you had to finance it. You got to ask yourself, how long have I been working? How old am I? Why do I have to ask the bank's permission for everything I do? I can't do nothing without the bank's permission. You got all you got to do is ask yourself, why do I have to do that? Now, if you don't care and you believe and I'm not here, listen, I'm not here to change anything. I'm just in awe. I'm in wonderful awe of the whole system. I'm not here to change shit. I'm just here to watch. Each and every time I look and see, because it's unlimited, I have no idea where I'm at in my knowledge of it. I don't assume anything. I'm just here to tell you share you what I see. Excuse me. Now, when you hear me say you have to ask the bank's permission for everything, I am speaking to you from a different perspective of capitalism. That's why it sounds weird. You know, you hear it and it kind of makes you angry, but I'm right. You're right that you're making payments on your car, you're making payments on your house, and every time you go to buy something, you need a credit card. I'm right, but you got to. But you're asking yourself, why is he right? You don't know why I'm right. You don't try to figure it out. You're not going to figure it out because you don't know why I'm right. You can't know why I'm right. You can't know like that. But if you're one of those people that, oh, if that was true, everybody will do it, and this and that, okay, then that means you're going to stay in that perspective, and that's all right too. Because listen, capitalism does not work without the majority being asleep. The majority must be debt slaves for it to work. It has to be. Everything inside the depth matrix perspective is an illusion. They don't know that. They don't know nothing, retirement, investing, and saving money on taxes. None of that is true inside that perspective of the debt matrix of the capitalism. They don't know any of that. You guys understand that? Nothing. Even hearing me speak like the way I'm speaking, they have no idea what I'm saying because I'm not speaking from within that perspective. I'm speaking outside of a perspective that they do not know exists. Exactly, QJC. If Apple didn't have financing available for the product, Apple wouldn't be in business at all. They wouldn't be in business. That's a good example. You see the price of Apple products? Debt slaves have no money. Do you understand? None. They have no choice but to finance Apple products because they have no money to buy them in cash. The banks are number one. Do you guys understand? Nothing works without the banks. I clearly understand that. Okay. That's just the way it is. They're not big, bad, and evil and this and that. They're just part of what it is. If Apple said, hey, all right, we're going to have a sale, but we're not going to allow anybody to finance any of our products, there goes the sale. And there goes the company. And what you guys got to understand is this, the people that are asleep. I want you guys to understand this. Apple, and this is from my perspective, okay? This is my perspective. Apple can't just charge whatever they want to charge for their phones, okay? I want you guys to understand, it's not really their choice. That choice is made by the bank. I'm sure in the background they have to come to some kind of negotiation because that choice is really up to the banks because they cannot buy Apple phones without asking the bank first. You understand? That's the only way it can work. That's the only way. There are no other options, right? So they probably negotiate some kind of price in the background, and this is okay. Well, we'll finance your top phone at the most is 1,800 or whatever the top pro whatever it is. The bank gave Apple said the go ahead, we'll do that. We'll finance that phone at that price. Because think about it. What if Apple said, well, we think our phones are worth $5,000 each? The bank will say, hell no. And then guess what? They wouldn't sell no phones because the banks are not financing $5,000 phones. You see how it works? Because people who are asleep finance phones. Then they jack them up so high, you guys will never, ever, ever be able to buy them in cash, ever. You guys, ever. None of you the majority of you don't have a spare 16, $1,700 in cash sitting around. So no, you'll never have that because you don't know. So they could charge for those phones whatever they want. Well, whatever the bank says okay. But that's just business. All you got to do is watch how they do it, come out, create your own business, hire professionals to make sure all your taxes are straight. All the participants in capitalism gets their fair share of whatever how the shit works, and everybody understands everybody. That's it. Then you come and make your money. Come out, be early in the game on this AI stuff, but you're free to do it. No negativity of debt in your life. Free to create, put together some new AI stuff, be ahead of the game. You can be ahead of the game right now. Because I was listening to this one AI song today. I had it on repeat, and it was a comedian, and he put his name in it, and he was telling. I'm assuming the words was, he kind of maybe gave AI the kind of idea of what he wanted to do. He obviously picked the music and the voice and the singer. All that still takes a skill to match all that stuff together, right? You still gotta tell AI what you want, right? So that even with that, I put it like this: a musical person will know how to tell AI what they want better than a non-musical person. That's what I believe. Because they know exactly the words and the musical instrument names and stuff like that. All that stuff is important, right? The average person doesn't know all that. There's a lot. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff and words that are used in that industry that if you don't know these words, you can't tell AI what to do like a musical person could, or a singer or an actor or something. This is what I believe. So you said people don't like the raw truth, and I think you know that. Yep. And that's why you don't have many subscribers, but it doesn't matter. The message is important. True. It's not, and it's like this, Tracy. You know by now that I don't I don't really care about subscribers. I really don't. I'm not even, and I understand my subscribers now, it really represents how many people in the world know what S&D knows. This is what makes my subscriber number a good thing, because I know for a fact that I know something that billions of people don't know with a B. And this is the amount of number that the percentage of people that probably know what I know. These are facts, right? These are facts. People that understand S&D, they understand what I'm saying is true. Capitalism is an illusion because there are millions of perspectives of it. Everybody has their own perspective of capitalism, making it an illusion. Every single thing inside of the debt matrix is an illusion. Oh, did you say something? Oh, you said something. I missed your message and need to go back to the beginning because I need to know what you put out. Okay, yeah, check out definitely check out that stuff. Back when I was in debt, I had zero creativity. Making music would have been impossible. Now I feel creative all the time. That's what happens, James. That's a natural process that happens when you own yourself. I've done so many things within the last 10 years of my life that most people would never even believe what I've done, what I know. The S&B family, they know, but the majority of people that maybe you're new, you don't know. But all you got to do, and if you're new to this and you're listening to me, all you have to do is listen to my math. Try not to Try not to concentrate on my words so much. Just always say, but is this math right? That's all you have to say. It creates what I believe neuroplasticity. It starts like here, let me give you an example. Like when I was in the perspective of the debt matrix, all I did was care about my credit score. My credit score, what is it? What's my credit score? Now that I left that perspective of capitalism and now I'm in another one, I don't even think about it. I think the last time I checked it, it said I was unscorable. I've never even heard of that, but except one time from Dave Ramsey. I remember one person that I know of that said unscorable was Dave Ramsey. Now, if I'm in debt listening to Dave Ramsey and I hear Dave Ramsey say unscorable, right? You don't really know what that means. You're just like, oh, okay, it must something. But until I experienced it myself, when I logged in and tried to check it and it said unscorable, I'm like, oh, that's what Dave Ramsey was talking about. A ghost, exactly. This person, you know what it really means? This person knows, and this person is not participating in the system like everybody else is. That's what it is. Because everybody in the capitalism game know I'm still participating in capitalism, but I'm not just participating in that way. And when I say participate in capitalism, IRS knows everything, the local city, this and that, whatever needs to be paid, to da, 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 whatever, right? All of it's happening. Do you understand? Because I understand how it works. But my credit report says, oh, okay, he's not playing this way. That's all. That's all that unscorable means. I had never seen that before until I checked one time. Because I don't check. It's like, why? What's the purpose of? There is no purpose. Now, again, if you're listening to this video and you're like, what do you mean? How are you surviving without a credit score? That means you are in the perspective. That's it. That's nothing bad. That's okay. That's how you play. That's how you do it in that perspective. Now, if you listen to us and you're thinking, well, if I got a good credit score and I'm doing this and that, listen, I'm not talking negative, saying anything bad about you. I'm not, if you got a good credit score, that means you're playing right in that perspective. Credit score means you're paying your bills on time, you're never late, whatever the rules are in there. That's the ones I can remember. As long as you're doing everything right, like the bank asks or the people you owe, they give you. It's like reward points for staying in debt with the people on your credit report. So you're paying them right, and then they give you points for paying them right with interest. And then, hey, this person right here, look at his credit score. He plays the game right. Okay, give him more debt. That's all. That's how it works. It's not a big deal. That means you're doing it right in that perspective. I did all that. I did all that. I got mortgages and made payments on multiple credit cards. As long as I was making them on time, I got a good credit score, even though I was deep in debt with all of them maxed out, all that stuff. I get it. But if you don't want to be part of that and you have some kind of musical singing talent, wrap yourself in that AI stuff. You better figure that out. Because the people that are getting into that with the music, they don't understand what you guys know. So they don't really know what to tell AI like you guys would. They might even miss some things because they don't know what to say. First, they got to figure out the names of instruments and all this other stuff. And who knows how much stuff goes into that. Get ahead of the game. Own your own business. When you own your own business, make sure you hire professional people to do your taxes right out the gate. Do not attempt to do it yourself. Once you understand how it works, you will naturally see that taxes are a form of income called phantom income. It's called phantom income. Why is it phantom? Because it's phantom to those in the debt matrix perspective. They don't see it because they can't see it because it's not in their perspective to see it. So it's called phantom income. You're probably thinking, well, what do you mean? I'll give you an example using myself. I remember when I was in debt and I had a job. Let's just say, for example, I would put $1,000 into my retirement a year. Okay, $1,000. Just sounds funny to say that, but $1,000 in my retirement for a year. And then with that $1,000, they would take $1,000 off of my taxable income, which then would lower me down in my tax bracket. What I didn't know, while being in debt, I can't save for retirement because I have no money to save for retirement while I'm in debt. Let me give an example. Say like, because I had a finance car back then. So say like I owed $20,000 on my finance car. Okay. 1,000, the 1,000 that I would put in my retirement, I would open up the calculator, put in 1,000 and minus 20,000. The calculator says I'm still in the hole, negative $19,000. The calculator says I have no $1,000 to put into retirement because I'm negative 19,000. Remember, the number line is what I learned in elementary school. This is what I learned in elementary school. Keep that straight. Therefore, if I have no $1,000, I cannot get $1,000 taken off of my taxable income because I don't have $1,000 to begin with to do it. That's why it's called phantom income. Debt slaves can't save anything because they don't have it. People that have money, so say like this is what I did for the last year of my job when I became debt free. I had my job for one more year when I became debt free. My job was a whole different experience when I was at my job being debt free. Whole different experience. I was making six figures, and this was the first time I maxed out my 401k at like 19,000 something dollars. First time in my life, first time. Because when I was making six figures, I used to say to myself, who in the world has almost $20,000 to put into retirement when everything is high and this and that? I was talking just like that. That's stupid nonsense. But when I was debt free, I was able to do it. That year and the only year, I was able to take off $19,000 off of my taxable income because I put it into my retirement. Why did I really get this is what makes it phantom income to me, because I really had the $19,000 to put into retirement to get $19,000 taken off my taxable income. I really had it. Therefore, I really did save money on taxes. Do you understand? So it's not phantom for me because I wasn't in debt. Again, this is the number line I'm just using the number line I was taught in elementary school. Okay. Don't think I'm smarter than you. Don't think I'm doing something fancy, trying to put a trick behind your back or pull out some rabbit. I'm just using the number line. So if you open up your calculator, say like you believe you're a homeowner. If you open up the calculator, put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance and hit equal, which side of the number line does that number on the calculator you see on the calculator go on? Which side of the number line does that number go on? Does that number, listen closely, does that number look like you own something or does it look like something owns you? Now, again, you can trust what I'm saying, believe. Well, hey, listen, I'm not here. I'm just here to share what I learned in elementary school. What I was taught in elementary school, the number that you see on the calculator goes way down the negative side in the red. I remember that. Miss Klingensmith, she taught me that. I remember her name. Her name was Miss Klingensmith. She was an older German lady. The number you see on the calculator goes way down the red side, negative side. That number says you sold yourself for the price of a house. That number doesn't say you own a house. That number says you were purchased for the price of a house. Do you understand the difference? There's a difference. Say like say like I was your neighbor and we got the exact same house, okay? But I bought my house in cash. I'm on the green side of the number line. The number on your calculator, you're on the red side of the number line. You understand? You and I are not the same according to the number line. Not just me. I'm not just saying something to you. I'm just saying according to the number line. I'm on the green side. We're just think about it. Our houses are worth, let's say like two exact same houses worth the exact same value. Say like they're both worth $400,000 in cash. Okay. 400,000 for me is on the green side of the number line. 400,000 for you is going to be on the red side because you financed it. Same 400, same 400, but one 400 is positive and one 400 is negative. Appreciate that, Tracy. I appreciate that. I'm trying to. What I'm here to do is I'm not here to reach everybody. I understand that. I want S&B family. S&B family probably already know this too, but I'm not here to reach everybody. I'm here to reach the people that were like me, that knew something was wrong, but just looking around. Nobody has the answers for anything. Not the answer. I don't know what questions to ask. Like that. When you're out of debt, the more expensive things get in this economy is just an inconvenience for debt-free people. Yeah, it sure is just an inconvenience. Wait till the S&D family members own their own business. Then you guys are going to see a whole new world. A lot of the S&D family members haven't broken the 40-hour work week program yet. That's a whole nother level, S&D family members. You guys still haven't even experienced that yet. Wait till you do. But just like I warned you guys, S&D family, when you got out of debt, there's no going back. There's no going back. Not even Dave Ramsey can speak how LJ speak about mathematics. He wouldn't be in business. He sure wouldn't. He can't do that. Dave Ramsey cannot tell people, hey, if you have a mortgage, you can't do a debt-free screen according to mathematics. You can't do that. That's bad for business. He's got a boat trip coming up for debt-free people, and people, if he says, hey, if you got a mortgage, you can't get on the boat trip is canceled. You guys understand that? It'd be canceled. It won't be enough people to get on the boat. That's called business, people. That's called business. And Dave kind of, what's so crazy? Well, it's not really crazy because because it's a language. Dave really tells you, people don't really know the level of debt freeness Mr. Ramsey is, because they don't really know how to hear him. He's debt free personally, and he's debt free in his businesses. You guys, most people will never know what that means at that level. I don't even understand that level of debt freeness. You got a successful businesses, and you own them all free and clear. Paying taxes is nothing. Do you guys understand that? That's nothing. You got that kind of money. Put it this way: if I was Mr. Ramsey, I'd be paying enough smart people that loved how taxes work and what they do and figure all the stuff out. They would do every single thing they need to do to before I had to actually pay the IRS. All legal. I'll just pay the smart people. Like when I go, put it this way, so you guys can understand the perspective. When I go on TikTok, right? And if I see somebody talking about they do taxes, but they're doing a dance in front of their tax office, they are looking for a perspective of people to do those kind of people's taxes. You guys, that's a perspective. Or they make a song or a jingle and come here and we get the most. That's a perspective of people who they're looking for. That's a perspective. Not saying they're doing bad business, not saying that they're probably doing really, really good business. They're probably doing really, really good business. But it's a perspective of people. I'm at the beginning of your video, but society hates me, hates the fact that I'm debt free because they are very limited on how much money they can make off of me. Yeah, well, what you say? I'm in society hates the fact that I'm debt free because they are very limited on how much money that they. I'm not sure what you're trying to say there. My bad if I'm reading that wrong. Mr. Urban World, hello. This is the first time being in your chat. I appreciate it. What's funny is that I think the algorithm brought me here because I was watching Dave Ramsey videos this morning. It might be because I mentioned, and I always give credit to Mr. Ramsey, because without him, I wouldn't have. He accelerated my process. I'm not going to say I would have never got here, but Mr. Ramsey accelerated my process. It's just once I got to the part to where he's like, hey, start putting away retirement if you have a mortgage. And I was thinking, wait a minute, I've been using the calculator the whole time to get out of debt, but you want me to stop using the calculator at this point? I was like, oh, it's a different perspective. He's not talking to me anymore because because I know if I have a mortgage, I have no money to put into retirement or any kind of side for college fund kids and all this other stuff. I have no money to do any of that. So I knew he wasn't talking to me anymore. I just left. So, but I appreciate it. If that's the case, I take that as an honor if the algorithm really did do that. One second. I really decided that, I'm here to help the people that know something's wrong, just like me. Just like me, when I was in the debt matrix perspective, I knew something was wrong. I couldn't figure it out till I asked God. God showed me the way. Showed me that inside the debt matrix, my credit report were my papers. Those were my papers. And my owners were listed on all my owners were listed on my credit report. Those are the people that owned me. Once I paid off whatever I had to do to get out of it, my papers showed that I own myself now. Okay. That was step one. I didn't know that was step one till God told me. Once I went from there, I started working on other things all the way to the point to where I'm at here. It took me about 9-10 years to get to where I am at today. Everything was compressed. Now that I'm out, I can see that everything was really compressed in this 10-year time span of my life. It was like it really felt like it's some kind of like transporter beam and like Star Trek, right? When you're in it, everything was just happening so fast. I can see it more that I'm since I'm out of it now, but every when I was in it, there was so much stuff that had happened in this little time span of 10 years to accelerate the process to where I'm at today and the knowledge I have today, what I can see, what I can share, what I can prove. This is the wonderful thing about a gift from God, right? I'm not just talking shit. I can prove what I'm saying. That's the gift. I can prove with mathematics what I'm saying. Now, if I show you something on the calculator, you believe you're a homeowner and you put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance and you see a negative number and you don't believe the negative number you see, we just part ways. I'm not going to do any of that. That means you want to stay. That means you want to stay in the perspective in which you live. And that's okay because it doesn't work without people, the majority being asleep. They have to be asleep. I'm not here to convince anybody to leave the debt matrix perspective. I want to make sure that's clear. I am here for the people that are walking around in there knowing something's wrong, but cannot figure it out. Especially right now, when you're young, you guys are in trouble. At least in my days, the debt matrix had access to me through the TV. But with you guys now, they got access to you anytime, anywhere, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week through your phone. Your phone is the plug into the debt matrix. That's just like the movie. But your phone is the plug. Soon as you open up that phone, you teleport from the present moment, wherever you're sitting, driving, looking at like you notice how when you're looking at your phone, you're driving the car and the light goes and you're still sitting there till somebody honks. You know why you didn't go when the light turned green? Because you wasn't there. That's why. If you were there, you would have went when the light turned green. But you teleported out of there through your phone until wherever you went. Your phone is the plug into the debt matrix. Buy this, finance that. You guys have no money. You guys are buying stuff and you have absolutely no money to buy anything. You're never getting out. You're probably thinking, oh, that's so stupid. What do he think the phone is a plug? Turn your phone off for an hour. Turn it off. There is no way most of you guys could ever do that. Turn your phone off for an hour? There's no way. 1 hour. Turn your phone off. If you can't do it, you're plugged in. And listen, make sure it's clear. I'm not here to stop you from, I'm not saying unplug yourself from the matrix. You can be there. The majority of you must be there. Now, when I see billionaires and all these people with all this money, they have the money because of you. They're not special. Those people are not, when I see them, they're not special to me. They've just been here longer. Maybe they've had this knowledge in their family generations. Who knows? It doesn't matter, but I know now. None of this happens without you. It doesn't matter if you believe me or not. But if I can prove it, listen, no human on earth has ever broken the laws of mathematics, ever. Make sure that's clear. No human on earth has ever broken the laws of mathematics. So if I show you something like mortgage payment minus mortgage balance on your calculator and you see a large negative number and you don't believe it, that says something about you. If you still believe you're a homeowner, even though you see a negative on your calculator, And knowing, listen, knowing no human has ever broken the laws of mathematics, we just part ways. I leave. I don't say anything more. I'm not going to convince you to believe the calculator. You're just not the person I'm supposed to talk to. I am speaking a language from a different perspective. There are millions of perspectives. I'm speaking from another one outside. I'm just speaking from one outside of the debt matrix perspective. But since you guys don't know that the debt matrix is a perspective, you have no idea what I'm talking about because you don't know there are millions of other perspectives. I'm just speaking from one. Just go 250 years. Listen, capitalism, the United States is going on 250 years. So let's just assume capitalism was here since 250 years, for 250 years. I'm 56. You guys understand? So that can kind of give you an idea so you don't think, oh, he's old because he's 50. No, it's been here 250 years and I'm 56. So now think about it if you're 20 something. So now you understand that can you give you a better perspective of what you're in? When you guys put it like this, say like you're young and say like you're a financial scammer. Okay, I'm gonna try to put this in a way. Say like you're a person that just scams people financially, because those are numbers. That's why I'm choosing that, right? For for scammers, for your stuff to work, the numbers cannot match. The math, the math cannot come out right because you guys are taking, because you're thieves. You understand? Now, but since you've been in that perspective all your life, financially stealing from people, you don't know that because the perspective you live from stealing from people, lying, you believe that's the only perspective. So you don't know there's other perspectives that exist, like the one I'm speaking to you from. Anything you do will not make mathematical sense because you're taking. Do you understand? So it'll never make sense. No matter what you try to do, hide it between a company and do this and that, none of the math will ever make sense. But you don't know that lies never make sense because you guys have lied all your life, especially mathematically if you're a financial thief. You just think if I do this, I'll say it doesn't matter what you do, the numbers will never match, ever. Yes, indeed, you are God sent because when God speaks to you, it's underbatable, and that's what you are putting out because 1 + 1 = 2. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's undebatable. Excuse me, I was saying that wrong. Undebatable. Yep, you're right. That's what. Tell you the truth, that's what God told me. That's what He told me. Because again, no human on earth has ever broken the laws of mathematics. So if you don't believe what math is showing you, what I'm showing you through math, that's your problem. This is what makes the world a perspective. Do you understand? Every single person in this world looks at the world through their own perspective. Okay. Everything, almost everything in it, everybody can have a perspective of it. Okay. Except math. No one in the world can have a perspective of math. If I said 1 + 1 = 2, nobody can say, well, I don't really see it I see it from a different perspective. Everybody would look at the person and say, what are you talking about? Because there are no other perspectives. 1 + 1 = 2, period. It doesn't matter what language you speak it in. It doesn't matter what part of the world you're in. Math doesn't care. Math doesn't even care about money. To me, AI means African intelligence because robots work hard for free, and that's what we did for 400 years. Mm. Tracy, you do know there were slaves in almost every race. Now, this is everybody knows. I like to say facts, right? There were slaves in every race. I don't hate white people because it's impossible to hate someone and love God at the same time. I'm gonna speak to you from another perspective, Tracy. When you when you have to say I don't hate white people, that alone says something. Why do you have to explain? And this is just I just want you to listen to what I'm saying. If your emotions get in it, try to catch them, okay? Why do you have to explain that you don't like white people? I mean, you don't hate white people. I don't hate anybody. I don't even care what color they are, right? I don't care what color they are. To where I'm at now, negative energy is felt. And you're right, Tracy. If you have a certain feeling about another human, because I'm only stating facts. God made everybody. So if you hate another person, the person that God made, well, what is that saying? I mean, we're not going to get into all that, but I'm just saying the obvious. What God made me, that person, not you, or you, vice versa, whatever. Exactly, universally agreed upon. Exactly. Children would look at. And here's the funny thing about, there's a saying that Albert Einstein says, if you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, you don't understand it yourself, right? This is what is said like that. But you know why Albert Einstein said that? If you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, because Albert Einstein knew that children still have their imagination. They still have their imagination. I could I could take this knowledge to a 6-year-old that knows math, just basic math, elementary school math. It's fresh in their brain. They still know their elementary school teacher's name. I could show a child that money is an illusion to the people inside of the debt matrix perspective. Okay, so here, let me give you an example. And anybody can play along, okay? So money is an illusion for those inside the debt matrix perspective. So imagine you're holding a $100 bill in your hand, okay? Open up the calculator, put in 100 minus your car payment. And I want you to listen to me closely. According to the calculator, do you have a $100 bill in your hand? You don't. You don't have $100 in your hand. All right. Since it's an illusion, I just made it disappear. Now I'm going to make it reappear. Listen closely. According to your eyes, do you have a $100 bill in your hand? You do have a $100 bill in your hand. See? I could change it to anything I want. Say, like, here, let me give you another example. Okay. You could show this to a kid. A kid will see it right away. Adults won't see it because they don't know. Kids have their imagination. They haven't been exposed to the debt matrix. They don't know any of that stuff. So that's why they'll see it right away. So let's put it this way. Let's say the average car payment is $700 a month. I have in my hand, I have a $100 bill, a green one, and I have 6 red $100 bills, all the way red. They're red, representing negative. Okay. 6 $100 bills, negative. Okay. Since money is an illusion, I'm gonna show you again. So imagine yourself holding the $100 bill green in your hand. Put in 100 minus 700. Okay, listen to me closely. According to the calculator, you don't have $100 in your hand. Okay, you guys don't know that. I'm gonna show you what you do use. So imagine taking down the 100, put in the 6 negative red $100 in your hand. Okay, now listen to me close. This is what you guys really use, but you don't know that you use it. According to the calculator, do you have negative $600 in your hand? The answer is yes, because that's what you guys use. You understand? But there's no need to print it because you don't know that. There's no need to print that because you don't know you use that. But according to the calculator and your eyes, you have negative $600 in your hand, so they match. Okay, now let's put the green 100 back in your hand. According to your eyes, do you have $100 in your hand? You do. See? Now, if you tell that to a kid is probably going to laugh. They take it to your kid and say, "Hey, do you understand what he's saying?" You know what the kid's going to tell you? "Yes, Miss So and So, Mr. So and So taught me that in class today." They would be like, "What? You understand what he's saying?" Yeah. You have made me feel if I only have $5 to my name, I would be richer than the majority. And see, be careful with your words, Tracy. It's not feel, it's fact. See, when you get out of there, words are powerful. If you had $5 in your account and you had no debt, you are richer than the majority mathematically. That's a fact. It's not a feeling. Now, I'm not saying keep it that way. I'm just stating the fact. In order for capitalism to work, from what I can see, it must be this way, you guys. The majority must remain asleep. That's just what I see. That's okay. Well, that's how it worked. I didn't have to be in that perspective. I was just born in it. You understand? I was born in the perspective which nobody told me out of all my 50 years in life that I was in this perspective, because obviously they didn't know they were in it either, or else they would have told me. I had to filter through all the stuff that's inside of the debt matrix that was holding me back from understanding how it really worked. Stop thinking it was color of my skin and people keeping me down and this and that. It was me. Everything was me. Everybody's perspective of the world is different. This was my problem. I thought everybody looked at the world the same as me. That's impossible. The vibration level where I'm at now, I understand. Energy is real. You know how when I was asleep, everybody would, you could walk in a room. Everybody talks about it. Oh man, you walk in a room, you could feel somebody. This, and we all say it. Everybody, hey man, you ever be sitting in the crowd, turn around, somebody feel like they're staring at you, you turn around. Everybody understands that. All of that is true. All of it is true. You could, since I have no negativity in my life, I can feel negative people. You know what's so crazy throughout my life? Let me explain something to you. Throughout my life, I've never been jealous of anybody in my life. Why would I be? It just doesn't make any sense to be jealous of another person, especially of my friends. But throughout my life, every now and then, I would catch somebody, I would feel a jealous energy from a friend or a family member or something like that. You know why? That was true. They were jealous of me because jealous people have been jealous all of their lives. So they emit jealous energy. Since I've never been a jealous person or jealous of anything or anyone, no matter what they look like, money, job, nothing, never been that way. I'm a jealous receiver of that energy. If we were both emitting jealous energy, they would be conflicting with each other. But since I'm not emitting anything, the jealousy that I was feeling from the people, come to find out later, it was true, but I just didn't know it at the time. The energy that was coming from them was true because they're jealous people. Jealous people have been jealous all their lives. They don't know that they're emitting jealous energy. They're always doing it 24 hours a day. It doesn't even matter what their face looks like. It doesn't matter what the words that are coming out of their mouth. They don't know that they're doing it because they think it's normal. So now when I meet a person and I feel that energy, I just make sure I'm aware of it. Okay. Not a big deal. It took me years to reach 100% peace. People think that's not true. Nobody can have 100% peace. Okay, whatever. It took hard work to get here. Hard work. Lots of sacrifice. I don't care what anybody thinks about me because everybody's perspective of me is their own. The only perspective of me that matters is mine. And if my perspective doesn't hurt another human being on earth, then it works for me. Anybody that comes up, says something negative, or even in the future when you guys see me traveling the world talking about this stuff, there's going to be a lot of negative people that's going to say, hey, you're this and that and this. I'm going to prove them wrong with math. I'm going to embarrass them. But if they say something negative to me, you know how I look at it? Oh, that's their perspective of me. That's it. I know that must be hard to believe, to think it's that easy. It took me years to get to that point, but I promise you, it removes all the emotion out of it. If somebody says something negative to me about it, it doesn't matter. That's their perspective of me. Oh, you ain't shit and this and that, you mother. Okay. And I just leave. You're never gonna see me again, ever. I don't even be around people like that would even do that. When you're on like TikTok and you start seeing uh all the bad stuff that's happening in your city and you're seeing it more and more and more, turn it off. You better turn it off. If you ever want to leave, if you want to get caught up in that perspective, thinking everything is, all you got to do is kind of like use your mind. If the world was really that bad, you wouldn't even be able to sleep in your bed at night. Turn the light off, set your alarm. You wouldn't even be able to do that because it'd be too bad. You got to start using your mind. There's a difference between rich and wealthy. Wealthy is owning the time in your life, and once you do it, you'll do anything to keep it. Negative people can't even come close to me. Can't even come close because they don't. This is the true gift about what God has given me. Negative people have been negative all their life. Okay, the negative things they do, they believe is normal. Okay, but it's not. Those are clearly identifiable marks for me. Because if they do something and it's clearly their fault, but they're not really apologetic about it, they don't really care, they're removed. They're removed instantly. I don't care if it's my brother, sister, friend, mama, daddy. Hey, listen, I don't like that. Don't do that. They continue to do that, they're removed. Do you understand? I no longer walk around driving, thinking I don't see graveyards. I don't do that anymore. I don't pretend like those people in the graveyards that I drive by every day to work were not here before me, where the majority of them were not here before me. They were here before me. That was their turn. I know what I'm going to do at my turn. Drive by, drive by graveyards, pretend like I don't even see them. You will see jealousy in a person because they emit a certain energy that they express outwards. Yep, they usually emit it in microaggression. They do. I remember when I didn't know. I remember I had a friend that and most of you guys pay attention to these signs, okay? I consider this person a close friend of mine, but I noticed like when we was on social media, right? I would notice like anything I would post, he would never like or say a comment, but I would notice, but any of our other friends, he was always over there saying something or congratulate, but he would never do that to me. He would always tell me offline or when we're on the phone, hey man, I saw that on Facebook, man. Oh yeah, congrats. I was like, that's weird. But one time I was talking to him and I was telling him about this successful idea I was thinking about, and he didn't agree with it or something. And I really didn't care. I was just sharing it with him. I didn't care if he'd agree with it or not. And then he all of a sudden he just blurted out, like, I think it's stupid. I mean, this came out of nowhere. I was like, what the? And then I kind of overlooked it. No, that was the real jealousy that came out in him because a person that is truly not jealous of you would never do that because it's not in them. It's not in a non-jealous person to blurt out something that says I'm jealous. But all I had to do was pay attention to the signs that he was showing me that we were supposed to be close friends. He was showing me. I just wasn't believing it. Same thing with people close to me. It doesn't matter. I believe the signs that they're showing me. I don't believe I have to tolerate the negative. Put it this way, and everybody's experiencing it. Say like you have a family member that you just cannot fucking stand, or they're just a bad. No, let's take it back. They're a family member, but they're just a bad person. They're bad to others. They cheat on their spouse or boyfriend or girlfriend and da 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 whatever. Right? They're just a bad person, but they don't do it to you. Your time is coming if you keep them in your life because they're showing you. You. This is what you got to remember. Don't let the family thing fool you. You think they're going to do all the negative, bad shit to other people, but when it comes to you, they're going to all of a sudden stop. No, they're not. They're going to do it to you. So this is just words of wisdom. If you have a family member that is a bad person, and you don't, and if they wasn't your family member, you wouldn't even be around them. You need to remove them. If you don't, your turn is coming. And it's going to be at the most inconvenient time. Maybe you open up a business with them, or you really need them for something, or you co-sign with them for something. Then they're going to show you they're going to show you what you've been seeing in them, just doing it to other people. All you got to do is just pay attention to how a person treat. Say like your family member is married or with a boyfriend or a girlfriend each of those guys are telling each other that they love them and they love each other, but your family members are fucking around on them, right? They are showing you their perspective of love. They are telling the person that they're with that they love them, but they're cheating on them. Then you got to ask yourself, is their version, is their perspective of love the same perspective as yours? If it's not, you better remove them because remember, they're showing you the type of love that they have. And that same family member they probably tell you that they love them, that they love you, right? But you already know their perspective of love. So when it comes, and when it comes in the most inopportune time, you're going to already know. Honestly, robots are Negroes because they do everything we've done, but the Caucasian are just coming into knowledge. They were new. You know what, Tracy? This what I'm speaking to you from another perspective. Okay, I'm not sure why you keep adding color into your topics. I'm not sure why you keep doing that. God made everybody. Color doesn't really matter. You have to work on why you are caught up on color and white people and black people and robots are black. To me, from my perspective, that makes no sense to me. Absolutely none. Now and I'm not saying this to be mean. Okay, I'm just saying something to you. I'm thinking you're adding black people to robots. That doesn't even make any sense to me. And if you're talking like this, if you have friends and you're talking like this to your friends, that's why you guys are friends. You understand? That's why you guys are friends, because you guys have something in common. Because if I was talking to somebody and they start talking the way you're talking, that we're gonna stop talking. Because you got to, in order to get out of the perspective, you got to stop thinking that it has something to do with that, and it doesn't. It doesn't have anything to do with that. I mean, it has some in the inner workings of it, yes, but on the bigger picture, I'm talking from the top picture of everything. It really doesn't. You have to find out why you think it does, and while you're doing it, remember the clock is ticking. Okay, the clock is ticking. Every single 5 minutes you keep thinking about it, that's 5 minutes you can't get back. I'm trying to tell people ahead of time, just don't forget that your time here is limited. Just whatever you do, just never forget that. So if you find yourself talking about something that you're never going to resolve, it's you're never going to get an answer, uh, it's never going to whatever. I don't know. I don't know. But just try to figure that out and try to get to your own resolution of it so you can get to what you need to get to. That just like, yeah, that is the colorblind slave master. It doesn't care what color you are. It's like, think about it this way, Tracy. It's like saying that, hey, only black people finance cars. Everybody would look at me like I'm crazy. Okay, well, only white people finance cars. The same look. Only Chinese people. Everybody finances cars, no matter what race. The only difference is the amount of people within that race that finance cars. All races finance cars. The difference is only in the amount of people within each race that do it. Put it like this, I guarantee you there are a low amount of Chinese people that finance cars. Probably a very low amount. Robots are tools. Robots will be here for us. If humans are not here, there's nothing here for the robots to do. They're not, listen, they're not even being built if we're not here. They wouldn't exist. AI wouldn't exist. The computer screen, the phone you're listening to me on wouldn't exist without humans. You know, I've learned since I escaped the debt matrix. Now, when I look at like, I think about all the movies, the space alien movies, and I was a big sci-fi. I still am sci-fi movie type of person. Now I realize something. You know what movies made me believe? Everybody in the universe that comes to Earth is always smarter than the dumbass humans. Like, we are always the dumb ones. We are always behind. Everybody's technology is better than ours, and this and that. That's some bullshit. That is. That's dumb. That's so stupid. Like, we're just so stupid. That's not true. That's not true. None of that is true. I kept myself that way. Nobody kept me there. Nobody. No, none of that is true. And listen, Elon Musk is showing you that he's shooting rockets out into space and bringing the boosters back to where they started. We're not the dumb ones. We're not the dumb ones. All you gotta do is look up neuroplasticity. What's up, Omanike? Neuroplasticity. Look it up. The gift that God has given me, I can prove it, everything I'm saying, with math. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. It really is. People have been saying things about the subscribers of you know, the subscriber amount of SMD. I understand that's the amount of people out of billions that know. Now you look at that number totally different, totally different. Millions and millions of people cannot know this. Since capitalism was built on slavery, it cannot end. Slavery is invisible and it enslaves all races. When slavery was physical, this is what people don't seem to understand. Well, you can't understand because you don't know. When slavery was physical, you could actually see the slaves with your eyes. You could see the chains on them. You could see their color of their skin. You had to feed them and this and that. Now it's different. Now the chains are invisible and they're all races. Dead slaves pay for their own food and shelter. Back when slavery was physical, the owners of the slaves had to feed them, put them in houses, and chain them. Now, all of it's invisible. There's invisible chains. Dead slaves pay for their own food and housing and stuff. You guys pay for your own stuff. And they're still owned. It's like think about it like this. You have a mortgage. The bank owns the house, but they don't have to pay the taxes. They don't have to keep up the yard. They don't have to do nothing. They just get a monthly payment from you, and you take care of the rest. Debt slave. The whole time thinking it's yours, and doing all the stuff and maintaining the yard, and you even paying the bank's taxes. That's their house. That's their house. Isn't that amazing? When you're growing up, no one could tell you about the debt matrix. I don't know if they didn't want to know, or if they didn't know, or if they just wanted. They don't know. The majority of us, just like me, born into a perspective. First, I had to know. Listen to this closely, people. I had to know I was born in a perspective. The only person that could have told me that was God. There is nobody I know, nobody you know, that you can walk up and say, hey, do you know you're in a perspective of capitalism? Nobody knows that. Well, not nobody. 99.9% of people don't know that. They won't even know what you're talking about because it's not taught. It's not supposed to be taught. And only to the people that know, obviously, because there must be a balance. Everything's positive and negative. There must be an amount of people that know, and the majority must not know. Jealous people are the ones that I noticed growing up. I was always a very ambitious person. And I could feel when people always wanted me to fail. Oh my God, you're going to try that. This is the thing I understand about perspective. This is the gift from God. I understand that everybody's perspective of the world is different. Therefore, when I make up my mind to do something and somebody out of somewhere says, hey, 6 out of 5 people fail, and that they're only talking about their perspective of it. They're telling me their fear of doing a business or something. I don't take it personally. I just say, oh, okay, well, shit. I guess I'm going to be that 1 out of 7 or something, whatever. Like when somebody comes up to you and say, hey, 6 out of 7 people fail in that business. Yeah, I plan on being the one that doesn't. Just say you're the one. So they just walk away. Oh, I can't even. I can't even pronounce that. I'm not even. I'm gonna say why. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, some people perspective is crazy. This whole week, my female coworker kept trying to offer me a casual, and I continuously declined. She was shocked when I I got to clap to that. Oh man, I wish I could have did that back in the day. Oh, that would have been awesome. Of course, you know what's so crazy? You know why she's shocked? And I'm gonna just be the truth with you. And I want people to listen to this closely, okay? And this is something I've learned. God told me this, right? And showed me this, right? When it comes to sex between men and women, it is clearly different. Clearly. How do I know this? Because in each and every city you go to, there's always some kind of street or neighborhood where you see women walking the street. Who's picking them up? Men. Now, if it was the same, if sex was the same between men and women, there would be an equal amount of men walking the street waiting to get picked up by women. That does not happen anywhere. So it's very different. So that's why she's shocked, because men normally do not turn it down when it's offered. So if you offer it and they say, no, thank you, they're like, what? That's why they're shocked, because those are facts. Women have it's clear to me, women have their choice. It's not really that difficult, because it's always a man that's willing to do whatever. You better believe you have left an impression on that woman. Believe that. You've done something that 9 out of 10 men would never do. Man, that is awesome. If you have a mortgage, the house isn't yours. It's impossible. Nope. You can't buy a house with a mortgage. You can't do that. This is how you tell the people that are asleep. When they say they own equity in a mortgaged house, you can't own equity in a mortgage house. So when you hear somebody say that, this is when you know without saying anything, because you can get in trouble, because you're asking to shatter their world, or you're going to think who you think you are. You think you're better than me. All you got to do is listen to the language they speak that they don't know that they speak inside the debt matrix. When they talk about owning equity in a mortgage house, that's impossible. And if they're saying it, that means they don't know it. A person can refinance their house 2-3 times and still believe they're a homeowner. I'm pulling equity out of my house. No, you're not, because it's not yours. But they don't know that. Hey, I'm gonna pull out some money and redo the deck, and what they're just increasing the value of that house for the bank. That's all they're doing. Can you imagine making money on a piece of property that you don't even have to pay the taxes on? All you do is receive a check, and the person that's in it believe it's theirs for 30 years. And you know how they trade? This is how they trade debt slaves, invisible debt slaves today. You know how they trade it? You know how they trade, you guys? One day when you receive a notice in the mail or you receive an email that somebody bought your mortgage, your loan, they just traded you. They just sold you to another bank. Now the other bank owns you. Do you understand? That's how they trade you slaves in the background. That's how they do it today. They can't do it directly. That part's illegal. So they put a house in between you two, between the bank and you. Then they trade you. One day you just open your email and say, hey, we're your new owners. You can't do anything. You can't say anything. They just say, hey, you send your money here now. That's it. What are you going to say? No, I'm not going to send. No, you can't. You can't say anything. You just do it. She's attractive too and gets complimented all the time. I want to be debt free, and that always ends bad. Yep. Man, I got to give you another clap. Who I okay, who I am today would have done that. But see, who I was back then when I was younger, I would have fell in the trap. I would have fell in it. I would have. But who I am today, I'd have been like, nah, I don't really treat my body like that. I don't treat my body like that. I don't do that. Where I'm at, the vibration level I'm at, let me just explain to the SMD family, to the listeners. Listen, let me show you where I'm at. I have no negativity in my life at all, none, zero, no debt, nothing. No, it's 100% peace. I'm 56. The woman has to be exactly where I'm at, because if she is, she will have had to gone through what I had to get through to get here. I'm 56. I'm not explaining, hey, you should get out of debt. You know, you'll feel, nope, none of that. That's too far. That's too far. That's too far. But at this piece, people think alone is bad. It's not. When I say the word alone, I don't want you guys thinking it sounds like it's not a bad thing. It's a beautiful thing. Stay concentrated, man. Keep doing it, man. She's probably she's probably going home. Probably thinks something's wrong with her, and ain't got nothing to do with her at all. She's just shocked because most men don't turn it down. I get it. Totally get it. Totally get it. So I thought about you when I was in that situation. I appreciate that, man. I know it's not about the race, but as a black man and she a white woman, that was very sketchy. Hey, listen, especially if it was at work, especially if it was at work. Now I understand why jobs don't like that. Now I get it. I totally get it. That's just very bad. Okay, when you're in the debt matrix, in the perspective, you are always at work. This is why this is a thing. This is why they make jokes about it, because it's real, it happens. But this is what most people at jobs that work that many hours so much to where they have an affair at work. This is what they don't know. The reason why they are there, if you're having an affair with a person at work while you're with somebody, the reason why you're having an affair because you're always at work. That's what you guys have in common. Lots of work hours. You're thinking that interaction is going to change something. No, it's not. You guys are, the energy is what connects you besides the physical job. The energy is because you're always at work. Figure out why you have to always be at work. You'll find out quickly you have nothing in common. You already know it. It's already negative. I want you guys to, when it comes to vibration levels, you can believe me or not, it's totally up to you. Negative vibration level speeds, excuse me, negative vibration speeds are slow. I'm only telling you something because I only know because I have nothing negative in my life, no negativity of anything. So I'm vibrating very, very, very high. Negative things you do in your life vibrate slow. They slow your vibration down. So if you're fooling around on your significant other at work, whatever, it really doesn't matter where, but if you're doing it, you're only slowing, you're not only are you hurting another person, but besides that, your vibration level is really slow. And the reason why you are connecting with the person you're fooling around with, because you guys are at the same speed. The person you're messing with is a liar and you're a liar. So you guys vibrate at the same speed because you guys are both liars. Like if you approached me and you were with somebody and you approached me and you were married and you told me you were married, that's where it would end. Nothing would be exchanged. I wouldn't look at you in any sort of way, thinking I'm better than the man you're with. I don't think like that. I don't think I'm better than the person you're telling you love at home and I'm a stranger. I don't think like that. When a woman, when a woman, when a woman approaches me and she's married or clearly with somebody, I believe what she's showing me. She's showing me that she's a liar and a cheater, and she cheats on the people she loves. She's showing me. And this is where most men mess up. This is where their private parts come in and knock out all logic and erase what she's showing you. She's showing you that she's a liar and a cheater. You're not special. If she's with somebody and you're a new person, you are clearly not special. Especially like now, today, who I am today, it just, that kind of stuff's not going to happen that fast. It just does. It's not going. We're not getting into bed quick, just because it's hot and heavy. Nope, nope. This mental stuff's coming first. Believe that. None of that. I'm gonna leave this with you for the men, but most of you will never do it anyway. I'm just leaving you something to think about. If you stopped having sex, would you die? Would your body stop functioning? Would you still live? Would you still be able to survive on Earth though, just okay? The answer is no, you would not die. You would not. That means that's a choice. You're choosing to keep doing this randomly and whatever stuff. That's a choice. That's a choice you're obviously addicted to. That's a choice. I've had the privilege to become unaddicted. And this was by force. This wasn't by my own choosing, because I would have never chose it. God forced this upon me to become unaddicted. It's the world is totally different. I don't give off the energy. Everything's about energy, okay? This is about energy. I don't give off the energy to women anymore that I want that all the time. That energy doesn't come off of me. You know why? Because it's not there. It's not like that. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not blind, but it's the only way I can explain it to you is this. It's not like the way it was before. Like, oh yeah, I got to have. No, I don't know what's in her mind. I don't. Everybody's perspective. Listen closely. The whole world is an illusion because everybody's perspective of it is different. So that means everybody's perspective of sex is different. I don't know if the woman that is trying to look at me and thinking I don't know what her perspective of sex is. I don't know that. That takes communication. I don't know if it's the same as mine. I don't know how her sexual life started. I don't know that. I only know how mine started. All of that is important. All of that is important. I didn't know that until I became unaddicted from it. To how important that was to know that. It's a lot of guys at my job who have 90 to 100K pickup trucks. Yep, permanent homes and fake houses, but yeah, permanent homes, fake houses, but have to stay at work because they are paying 2 mortgages on multiple cars. Exactly. And they don't even know it. Paying for something. This is what the debt slaves inside of the debt matrix perspective do not know. They're at work more than the house they're paying for. The cars they're financing are parked more than they're driven. They're either parked in an employee parking lot or they're parked at the house. And then, listen, working all those hours and then trying to have a family and then children, that is impossible. Next thing you know, extramarital affairs at work because you're there all the time. Oh, honey, everybody used the same thing, but the new liars don't know that the liars already been. Hey, I'm working overtime, this and that, the same old lies. If you have a person you're with that use that line of working overtime, you just tell them, say, hey, listen, I want to look at that check stub from all this overtime you're working. I want to see it. So when do you get paid? Okay, because you've been telling me you've been working overtime all this week. I better see it on that check stub. That's all you got to do. Liars don't listen. Liars that have affairs, they be so immersed. This is what I want people to understand. Cheaters and non-cheaters do not move the same. Cheaters don't know that. Okay? Because they're cheaters and liars. They don't know that non-cheaters don't move the same way they do because they've never been a non-cheater. All you have to do is if you have a person that's saying they're working a lot of overtime, all you got to do is say to them, and hopefully you can say this in person, because really all you're doing, because you're not going to get a truth from a liar. Okay, you're not going to get a truth from a liar, so don't think that. The main purpose of asking or saying, hey, you've been working all this overtime. I want to see your check. because I want to see the overtime reflective on the check. It's not going to be because they've not really been working overtime. They've been fooling around on you. All you want to do is see the reaction to that question. You're not going to get a truthful answer. Don't expect the truth. They're not going to give you the truth, okay? All you got to do is see the reaction. See if they start tripping. Oh, now you just think I'm trusting. Don't react to any of it. Just see how the reaction is. Because a truthful person that was really working overtime, you know what they would say to you? Sure, okay, whatever. All right. I get paid on Friday at 6. When I get home at 7, I'll hand it straight to you. I won't even listen. The truthful person will say, I won't even look at it to look and see how much my check was. You could just look at it yourself so you can see that it matches. That's the truth, just flows. Liars don't know that. This is what's lovely about living in this perspective, okay? Liars don't know the truth never makes sense because they've never told the truth. You understand? All you got to do is listen to me. When they tell you something and it doesn't make sense, that means they're lying because the truth always makes sense. Cheaters and liars don't know that because they're liars. They've been liars all their life. This is part of the gift. Celibacy allows one to accomplish so much. Yeah, yes, it does, Omanique. You are right about that. More than just finances, way more, so much more. Yeah, she made a lot of assumptions about me that before my journey, I would have taken it as a compliment. She said, okay, wait a minute. Yeah, she made a lot of assumptions about me that before my journey, I would have taken as a compliment. Okay. She assumed I was a player and that I slept with women recklessly. I took it as an insult. You know what? But don't. When you hear stuff like that, don't take it as an insult. Take it as her perspective of you. And then you think to yourself, why is her perspective like that? Because the majority of men do that. This helps you remove, just like we just said, I took it as an insult. The reason why you took it as an insult, because you're thinking her perspective of you really is, but it's not. The only perspective, there are millions of people in the United States of America. Each person that looks at you, don't even talk to you. They will have their own perspective of you. But the only perspective of you that matters, that will ever matters, is yours. So when somebody says that to you, right? And she said, oh, I thought you were a player or whatever she thought, right? That's just her perspective. And you just say, oh, well, I'm not. So you just correct her perspective. That's all. And it's really not even her fault, because if she's cute and she's got a nice body, it happens all day, every day, all ages, all races. This is the power of sex. I only know because I'm unaddicted. And I can kind of see into a woman's mind, which men don't understand. But this happens all day, every day, to women, the looks, the this, the that. Can you imagine being a man can't even imagine of being harassed. No man's harassed like that, like a woman. It just doesn't happen like that. And every man that looks at a woman think he's probably looking at her in some different way, better than the last man. Maybe she's making a choice. Who knows? She got to pick. SMD, when you leave to another country, they have their major. Yeah, every country does. Oh yeah. Like to me, it doesn't. The majority of economies are capitalism. It's capitalist, right? So it doesn't matter the flavor. And all capitalist systems, the main thing are debt slaves. They just have their own way of controlling them. That's all. Every capitalist system has their own design way of controlling the debt slaves. That's all. You go over there, they probably have some sort of tax system, some sort of financial debt scoring. It's all the same. Everything's the same. Yep, can't mess up that paycheck. And like I said, don't ever expect the truth out of a liar. You're just going to hurt yourself. All you're doing is looking for the reaction that they're going to show you, that they're not going to know that they show you, because they're not going to know that you're looking for it. But say Say like you're one of the ones that they're doing it because the liars and cheaters have a pattern that they don't know that they have. They use the work thing. I'm working a lot of overtime. What am I supposed to do? Who's gonna pay all these bills? Blah blah blah. You say, okay, okay, all right. I hear all that. Just let me see the check. I want to see the check stub when you get it. I want to see it. Oh, what the fuck? When they start tripping, just don't even argue. Just understand that they gave you their answer. If they start tripping like, oh, you ain't checking on my stuff and this and that, all you got to do is just say, okay. And don't say nothing no more. You got now, this is the point you have to do. Are you going to accept what they're showing you? Are you going to accept what they're telling you? Or are you going to keep arguing with them? Are you going to keep risking your body to a person that clearly don't care about their own? Because if they're cheating on you, they don't care about their own body and they don't care about yours. Everybody knows there's something out there that can make you leave Earth forever. Everybody knows that. It's not a secret. And they're recklessly and don't care. You guys, you better really think about who you're with. That's serious business. Nobody's fucking up my spacesuit here. You understand that? Nobody. My spacesuit is perfectly adapted to Earth. I'm not punching holes in it. Then they cry when they cut out OT. Oh man, you have no idea. If you're at work and if you're listening to me and they start talking about cutting OT and you're crying about it, oh my God. You have no idea what you're saying to your employer when you are begging for overtime. You know what you're saying? Please abuse me. You can abuse me. You can abuse me. This one guy grossed 10,000 biweekly, but only net 5K because he's paying back his 401k loan and child. Oh my goodness. I'm borrowing. That's so crazy. The stuff they use. Oh yeah, you're borrowing from yourself on your 401k. Oh my God, borrow from yourself. The terms that they come up with is just so crazy. Yeah, good point. Thanks for making that make sense. She actually tells me about her getting hit on right after it happens. Okay, 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 yeah, yeah. The other day, a guy stopped traffic while she was walking to ask for her number. See, for a good-looking woman, I mean, you can see it on TikTok. Because obviously on TikTok, you can see it all day. Women understand, and I only know this again. This I was forced by God to become unaddicted from sex. So men are clear. This was not by choice. This was forced upon me via a narcissist relationship, but that's not the point. I'm just here so you guys understand it. That happens all day, every day. I understand. I'm not special. I'm only special to me. To me today, it doesn't matter what a woman looks like, what she has on her body, what she says. It counts on what's up in that head, that brain. What's your perspective of whatever you're looking for? Because when a woman hits on, you don't know what she's probably in a relationship. Maybe she just broke up with her man, or she wants to get him back because he cheated. Who knows? It could be a million things. You understand? Maybe you are just a tension relief person. Who knows? I need to know that. This is how people get hurt. Maybe she fools around on her husband, and the one day her husband catches her, she happens to be with you, but you're not the main guy that's been with her all the time. You just happen to be another dude that she's met, and you think the guy's going to stop and say, "Hey, are you the first guy?" That's not going to happen. You don't know what she's telling her husband. This goes vice versa, men and women. And you put in your because 1 second. You do not know what is said or what a person you don't know what happens, who they're with. You just don't know. You don't put your I don't That's not going to happen to me because cheaters Cheaters and liars do not move the same way people that do not cheat and lie. But cheaters and liars live in a perspective. This is a perspective of the world that they live in. Cheaters and liars believe everybody does it. Everybody loves the way they love, and it's not really love. Who knows what their version of love is? Whatever, sex, whatever. It doesn't really matter, but it's their perspective. So they believe everybody does what they do. But people that don't do that, those people are obvious to us because they move and talk and say things different. Nothing they say makes sense. Their lies don't make sense. Nothing, because lies never make sense. And liars don't know that. I'm proud of you, man, to be able to turn that down and do that. Out of all the men, this is what I want you to understand. Out of all the men that probably going to hit on her today, she's going to remember you. You understand? She's going to remember you. Out of all the men that's going to hit on her today, tomorrow, till next week, she's going to remember you. She's going to remember the one guy that said, no, thanks. Now, as a man that has already tasted the forbidden fruit, I'm not saying that I don't want it to happen again and that it's not. I'm just saying it's not going to happen again unless she is here mentally. The same as with me. And if she's like, oh, what does that mean? I'm not explaining it. What does it mean? You have to already know. And the only thing I imagine having an experience, an intimate experience between two people that know, that understand. How many people you think in the world that has actually got to experience something like that? Not many. Not many at all. Full trust of everything. And this is what I picture. It's like most men, including myself, you think I thought that, if I wanted to have all this kind of different kind of stuff in the bedroom and some, I don't want to get too graphic, get to stuff, it has to be from a woman that has a lot of experience and this and that, and automatically saying that the women that could be just like that in the bedroom, but just want to do it with just one person. For me to think that that doesn't exist, that was a perspective that I was in the wrong perspective. Now, am I sitting around, ooh, crossing my fingers, hoping that? No, I don't think like that anymore. I just thought that doesn't come across my mind from the perspective I was raised in to think like that. That's a perspective. To be a man and always on the hunt, every dress and heels that walk by, that's a perspective. You don't have to be in that perspective to be caught up in that. That's a perspective. Women can instantly tell the men that just don't do that. They can tell. Even if a woman's like, "Oh, you're old," it's just, hey, listen, that's just your perspective. I don't take nothing personally. I don't care what you think. I don't care about anybody's perspective of me because my perspective is the only one that matters. So when I tell about things just like the title of this video, and you come across and it's like, "Oh, that's stupid. This doesn't." If my math is true, that means it's true. If you see the math and don't believe what I say, believe what I can obviously see, that means nothing to me. That's just your perspective of me. I am here to awaken the people that are walking around in this system just like I was, knowing that something was wrong. There's a piece that I was saying this to myself. There's a piece that I'm missing. I was like, God, there's a piece I'm missing. What am I missing? I can't see it. And I was right. You can't see. I didn't. There was no way I could see that I was in a perspective of capitalism without somebody telling me. I wouldn't have even known to even think of being in a perspective of capitalism. You guys understand that? That wouldn't even have been a possible question in my brain to think of something. God told me that. That's how SMD was created. I didn't, what I'm telling you now, when SMD began, I didn't know what I'm telling you today. I suggest, if you're new to the channel, I suggest you go all the way back to my old videos and you can see how I talked then until compared to how I talk today. You can clearly see the difference. You can hear it. You'll be able to see my learning process, what are the words I was using, the things I was saying, compared to the words and the things how I'm speaking today. And as you're watching, remember, my math is always correct, always. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up. Well, let me put this. If you guys have any questions, let's do this first. If you have any questions first, let me put that there. Oh, let me make sure because usually they be tricking you and putting some, making people trying to log in guest view. Okay, no, that's still the same. If you have any questions, I'm gonna put that up for a second, and I'm gonna wrap it up. I realized I was on here for almost 3 hours. I haven't did a 3 hour session, and I don't know how long. It's been so long. That's crazy. Almost 3 hours. That's wild. I ain't did one of those in a long time. So if you want to ask me some questions, now's the time to come up and ask me. The younger, the better. You got more time. You can be different than anybody in the world. Change the whole game. Oh, didn't mean to. Okay, didn't mean to do that. Looking at my phone. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up then. Thank you, Nicer. Much appreciated. Nice to see you still around. Okay, you have a question. Do you listen to AI? Oh, yeah, I do. I listen. I listen to a lot of AI music. I do. It's good. It's really good. It's really good. The remixes of original songs. I mean, they really do a good job. They're gonna have to hurry up and wrap some laws around that stuff because it's getting crazy. But it really, like I said, it really doesn't matter because people can make their own stuff better than producers and singers. It'll sound way better than original stuff. So, all right, thank you everybody for participating. All right, and you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your evening. Later.